Good afternoon, guys. This is Kathleen Pate at My Alabama Farm Life, and it has been a day. One of my beehives swarmed this morning. I am so thankful that I went outside when I did. I was able to see the swarm, follow it, and eventually catch them. And this is the video that's going to show you what me and Andrea and Winslow did today to catch this swarm of bees. Oh my God, that's a lot for you. And
which one do you want, the cutters?
I really wish I took a picture or a video of how my truck was sitting in the ditch. The bees, when they flew away, they flew down the ditch line and into the first tree, and then they started to gather there, which was perfect as far as I was concerned. They were real close. They didn't go too far. It was right on the edge of a wooded area. It was just trying to get my truck down there without getting stuck in the ditch. I managed to do it with some help from Andrea, and I was even able to get back out with no problem at all. I was so thankful that Andrea was home and willing to come out and help me with this. Winslow was at work, but he did show up eventually. But I got all my stuff together, forgot to grab my camera. Thankfully, Andrea had her camera and she was able to take a good bit of video, and I am so thankful for her.
You thinking a little bit more further back? There's a swarm trying to cut it down. Yeah, he's in the back right now. It wouldn't hurt. Because she got some good eyesight.
Eleanor came out to see what we were doing, and she wanted to know if she should call George. That's my uncle-in-law. But we had already seen him that morning, and he was out in the back field mowing, so he was busy and couldn't help us right now.
What'd you say, Kath? She said she hasn't heard the tractor yet.
I really had a hard time with my smoker today. I've got some pellets in there, some old wood, and some paper towels, but it just did not want to stay lit. Now, I have become a great believer in smokers when working with my bees, and at this point I wasn't sure if this was one of my bees that had swarmed or if this was a wild bee swarm. So I don't know what these bees and what their temperament is, so I'm using a lot of smoke. You can never be too careful when it comes to bees. My original plan was to get in the back of my truck, and hopefully that it would give me enough height that I would be able to trim off that branch and put all the bees together into my little hive box. Unfortunately, I'm not tall enough, but I thought that maybe if I could grab a hold of the branch, bring it down, and then do a shake method, shake the bees into my box, that would work. However, I stood there for a while and watched the bees, and I knew that if the queen was in the box, they would all crawl down to her. However, they did not do that. So I knew the queen was still up on the branch, so I had to clip that down.
Starting to rain. I felt some rain on me. Gotcha. She got a lot of them into the box. We just don't know if we got the queen or not. He's on lunch break. He's like, I drove by. He's like, I thought the truck was in a ditch. He didn't know why. I was putting up clothes and I saw her come out instead of going across the street. She came this way. I was like, I wonder where she's going. She comes back. She's like, there's a swarm of bees. I was like, how'd you catch that?
And you kind of rake them off in the box.
I think she wants me to get over there so I can grab the branch.
Just put the whole branch off and put it down here.
You gonna cut that branch?
Thankfully, my son showed up. He came home for lunch, which was perfect. So he's tall enough and he should be able to get up here and help me get this cut down. Now, he was really, really brave. He went up there in short sleeves, shorts, and no hood, and did really, really well. I'm very, very pleased with how this worked out. So we were able to get it cut down. We trimmed up the branch, and I put the rest of the bees in the box. So it's been I'm going to say several months, or at least 6 weeks since I've really messed with the hives. I know it's time for the varroa mite treatments, and I had just ordered the packs that I needed to do that, and they'll be here next week. We were going to go ahead and move the weaker hive over a little bit so that there wasn't as much robbing from the other hive, and do a good check through, and then do the varroa mite treatment. However, when I got out here, I discovered that the small hive was the hive that swarmed. There are still a few bees in this hive, and I'm going to go through each frame to see if I can see a queen, but I'm not expecting to find one. And when I picked it up to move it, it was really light, which means that there's no honey, and again, I don't expect to find any brood in this box. But we're going to look and see what's here. I didn't get them in the frame of the picture, but if you look down, you can see that there were 2 queen pods there. At least that's what they look like to me. I was really hoping that this was a wild swarm, but it wasn't. It was from my smaller hive. There's a lot going on in there. I'm seeing some hive beetles, so I need to get some traps in there. I'm looking at the bees that remain, and it looks like they've got some mite damage. So I'm very lucky that I caught this swarm, and now we're going to move it to another place. Then I'm going to make sure it has everything it needs to survive the winter and become a stronger hive for next year. I placed this frame early in the season hoping that they would fill it up, but it looks like they never touched it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this frame, and I'm going to put my new swarm into this frame. Another thing that we discussed was moving the smaller frame to a new location. It's a risk to do so, but we thought about doing it at night. So this actually gives us the opportunity just to move it to a new spot, and I'm going to move it back here to where the greenhouse is. It's someplace where that I come to almost every day, and I'll be able to see them and watch them. They'll have their own spot, and they won't have any pressure from the other hive stealing from them. These guys are not happy with me messing with them. After I got the bees installed, I realized I didn't have a lid. So I went back across the street and got the equipment that I needed and brought it back to put a lid on this new hive. I guess they needed a little bit of a break because they're not as angry as they were earlier. And I also want to say that through this whole ordeal, nobody got stung. Now I'm not quite done yet. I need to give them some sugar water and maybe tomorrow take that stick out of there and put the rest of those frames inside. But tonight I think I'm done. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to try to get this up this evening, Friday evening. This was an incredible experience. And I want to thank you all for joining me, but I think I'm gonna go run back over to the house, cool down, and goodness, it is a little warm out here today, especially wearing long sleeves and that veil. I want to thank you guys again for watching my videos and supporting me. You guys have a great day.